My name is Norman Siegel. I'm a civil rights attorney and I represent many of the interests of the people that are here today. People that are here today are vendors. We have people representing community boards. We have people representing community support groups who get the permits to hold the street fairs. So why are we here today? We're here today because the de Blasio administration has proposed rule changes affecting street fairs in the city of New York. We are opposed to those rules, right? Yeah. No. We think the rules are 1, unfair, 2, they're potentially discriminatory, 3, they're unwarranted, and 4, they raise serious legal questions. When you have a street fair, it is important, if you're going to make the changes with regard to the rules, that you have input and consult with the people who participate in those street fairs. It's not like street fairs started last week, and many of us who live and work in the city, we like them. We like to go to them, we enjoy the environment, and if you're going to make changes, you need to have consultation. The Mayor's Executive Order 105 provides for exactly that. So we're here today first to say, have any of you been consulted? No! And that's a fundamental flaw. And so we come to the seat of government. We come to the steps of City Hall. And we come here because this is the quintessential place where people in the city can voice their opposition to when the government is doing something that they disagree with legally. Now, it's unfair because it's a restraint on the trade for people who are the vendors. If a vendor lives in Bed-Stuy and wants to come to my neighborhood on the Upper West Side of Manhattan, because of this rule change that I'll get to in a minute, I suppose she or he won't be able to do it.
That's right.
So it's unfair to that particular person. It's one community. That's what all the politicians say. So how do all of a sudden you decide to segregate us and say, okay, you who live here can't participate here, or you have less of an opportunity? Second, very important these days, it's potentially discriminatory because you look at the people who are the vendors. They're overwhelmingly people of color, African American, Latino, Asian. You look at the vendors, they're immigrants. You look at the vendors, a majority of the vendors are women. So if you're going to create rules that have a negative effect on their livelihood, have those kinds of discriminatory effects. And finally, let's make it clear. There's a new rule that they want, that if you have a community street fair, they want 50% of the vendors to have been their business in that community, or quote, a local presence, whatever that means. But it's not needed because the street fair people will tell you, and the community boards will tell you, that they try really hard to get the local businesses to participate in the street fairs, and they don't come. So putting this 50% quota on who can participate in the street fair as a vendor will wind up that a lot of people who are here today won't be able to be in those street fairs, or possibly. How dare you? How dare you to make these rule changes without sitting down and talking to the regular folk who live and work in the city of New York? Here's a Statue of Liberty, not too far from here. She holds that torch, and it's all about liberty and justice and equality. But that Statue of Liberty, she's become a symbol for lots of immigrants. And why do they come here? You'll hear some of the testimony as soon as you hear the testimony. They come because of the American dream. My grandparents, other people from all over the world come here now. And they come because they want to create a life for themselves, their children, and their grandchildren.
Yes!
Yes! Of New York City. is that we have always been an open harbor for immigrants. Immigrants are essential to the heart and soul of New York City. We cannot turn our back in the year 2016, especially with the rhetoric that's going on all over this country right now. New York and its mayor, its city council, and all elected officials have to stand with the people of color, with the immigrants and the women. And this is your test. Do you stand with us? Or if you're not with us, we'll remember. We will remember. So stop the rule changes. Sit down with us. Let's work this out. If we want a fair and just result, we need to sit down and talk. Otherwise, folks, there's a couple of buildings a few blocks from here. I know where it is. If we have to go there, we'll go there.
Yes!